Hey everyone, Shintai here again, and with me I have my good buddy Andrew. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome. Today we're going to do a review of Clannad, which is kind of a slice of life sort of anime, and it actually started off as a visual novel and not like a manga like 90% of anime. But we're not here to talk about the visual novel. We're just going to focus on the anime. I think what makes Clannad kind of stand out a bit compared to other anime is that when you first look at it, like when I saw the cover, I think Andrew knows what I'm talking about. I thought it was a harem because there's just a bunch of girls, and so it kind of gives that illusion that that's what it is, and it's not. It's actually, to put it pretty simply and basically, I'd say Clannad is like a slice of life with a hint of mysticism. I think it's pretty different because of that. And what do you think?
How I got into it was after Cowboy Bebop, Evangelion, and Higurashi. I've seen some anime, good ones and bad ones, and then we were on Skype for the first time. Then you chatted me, and you told me, "Hey, have you ever seen Clannad before?" And I heard a few things about it, but never too much about it. And it looked like, I did like Higurashi, and I think it might have something like that, only without the gore. And then I took a look at it. It was really, really good. Like, it was basically what you said. You know, it's not much of a harem. It's more like a slice of life.
Yeah, it really does give that impression because, you know, you're kind of conditioned to thinking that way, especially like after I read the Love Hina manga, which is probably the only harem that I like because it's actually really funny. But one of the great things about Clannad are the characters. The overall story itself is nothing special. It's the characters themselves. They're really, really good. You honestly care about them. You know, you want to see them, you know, succeed. You want to see them, you want to see the characters interact because they're so interesting. And, you know, especially the main character, Tomoya, he is hilarious. The guy just like loves to pull pranks on people. And he's not like a typical main character. He's not a complete jerk, but he's not like a hero of justice or anything like that. He seems like a rather normal person, but, you know, he's got a great sense of humor, right?
Yeah.
I remember when he like played that prank on Sunahara and made him think like he was a cyborg or something.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Well, other than Tomoya, all the other characters are really, really good. All the characters are very, very interesting. And when you first see these characters, you kind of know what these characters are, but the truth is, later on in the series, you learn that there's something deep about them. They all have troubles, they all have struggles, and you learn all about them, and it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, some of them, like, even though some of them genuinely are like stereotypes, like I'd say Ryo and Kyo, like the twin sisters. Kyo is definitely a tsundere, and Ryo is like the really quiet and shy types.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily a bad thing because, you know, I think they're really good characters on their own because even though, you know, you've seen this type of character before, I think the way that they're played off is very interesting and, you know, makes them very likable.
But my favorite character would be Tomoyo, and she's really unique.
Yeah, I
agree.
agree.
The fact that she is a really powerful fighter, and you see her going into so many fights and always winning. That has always been the coolest thing I've ever seen.
I like that one part where she kicks the crap out of the main character's friend Sunahara so badly that the anime censored his face.
That was awesome. And also, there's what was the name of that one girl, the smart one?
Oh, Katomi.
Yeah, she's basically like a bookworm, and she never talks to people except for Tomoya, and She was a very interesting character as well.
There's a lot of each character actually has their own like story arc, and I think her story arc is one of my favorites because you find out a lot about her, and you start to feel really, really bad for her too.
And then there's Fuko, which is I love Fuko.
Oh God, love Fuko.
Starfish. I really liked her, and the weird thing is she's supposed to be about the same age as Tomoya, but she is like a 10-year-old a lot of the times.
She looks like one and she acts like one too.
Yeah.
Even though she's like 20, which is weird.
And then there's Nagisa, the big one.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh. Nagisa is one of those really sweet, kind-hearted, Moe can get you anything. Moe can get you through helplessness. But I really like Nagisa. She's always been, she has dreams, but she has troubles to keep him from them. But she's really a very kind, loving character.
But let's get into the episodes. There's actually 2 seasons. There's the regular first season, and there's the after story season. Now, I think the first season, except for like one thing, which is kind of spoilerish, so I'm not going to tell you what it is, but except for this one thing, you'll probably notice it. The first season's perfect. There's except for like that one thing, it is almost perfect, and it was really, really good. Now, when it comes to after story, it's not quite as strong consistently as the first season, but I think it has more powerful moments in it.
Yeah, it's to me the second season it didn't start off well. That's basically the simplest way, because the first half of the first few arcs weren't as good or weren't as impact or weren't. They're just kind of basically kind of silly in some sense.
I think the 2 arcs, like the 2 worst arcs, were Mei Sunohara's arc and Yukine's arc. They're not terrible per se, but there are just some aspects of it that are just kind of silly and they weren't really necessary. Oh, and there was one more arc that was kind of whatever, the cat one. Yeah, that was kind of weird.
It was more silly. I can understand when people like. The thing I liked about Clannad was it had risks. They tried to add some supernatural elements into it, but it's like the first season kind of worked, but the second season kind of
they tried to
throw it in whatever they want.
Yeah, they took it a little overboard.
Yeah.
Now I understand why they did that supernatural aspect because it kind of ties in at the end, which of course we're not spoiling.
Yeah.
But they went a little too far with it in the second season, but it didn't get gratuitous or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like I said before, while the first season was consistently good, and the second season, the first half is kind of weak, the second half is amazing. I wouldn't change anything about the second half. It is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, there are some really, really powerful moments in the second half of the after story. Clannad is a pretty sad story overall, and I think that if you're a little sensitive, or even not that much, you probably will, shed a few, tears, especially if you're a girl. If you're a guy, you might shed a single manly tear.
Yeah. Well, in Clannad, the animation is very, very beautiful and very, very unique.
Yeah. Actually, having played the visual novel, I wasn't a big fan of like the art style. It was kind of weird, but in the anime, I think the anime looks a lot better and overall looks really nice. Very colorful. The animations are, very smooth.
But another thing about Clannad is, basically, by going from what you said, it is really, really sad. And basically, to me, even if you show, like, I could be having the happiest day of my entire life, and if you showed me, like, a picture of Nagisa, I would just be all sad.
Yeah.
Like, I could just be sad. Like, I won't do anything, I'll just feel a little sad. Or any of the characters, or
even the frickin' Dongos.
Yeah, the Dongo family. Or even if you play the song, I would be sad.
Yeah, that's actually the thing. When you first hear the song, you just think, oh, it's this happy little song. But after some of the events in the story occur, and you go back and hear the song, you have different reaction to it. You'll start to feel sad when you hear this song. You start to feel a little bad.
Tomoya is a very strong-willed character. You learn some stuff that he has some struggles and some problems and all that stuff.
Yeah, he had a lot of problems with his dad.
Yeah. But this character completely amazes me by how far he's going into stuff. Like, one of the things is he wants to fulfill Nagisa's dream, and it's unbelievable how far he goes.
Yeah, I think Tomoya is one of like the best male characters I've seen in a long time because he's so unique, and he doesn't always try to do like the right thing, but when he does, like for Nagisa especially, he goes so far. It's so amazing, and he actually grows as a character too. He doesn't stay the same. I think it's not drastic either. Like it kind of like eases itself in. And you start to notice, like, especially in After Story, you start to notice that he's not the same person anymore.
Yeah.
Like, he kind of grew up. Because he was nothing but a prankster in the first season. And then, eventually he learned that, he has to grow up at some point.
Also, another thing I like to point out is Nagisa's dad is the most awesome character I've ever seen in an anime.
Fuck yes.
I love that guy. That guy is so awesome.
Akio for the win. I love Akio. He's so awesome.
He is always one of those characters that can kind of cheer you up.
Yeah.
Because he helps out in a lot of moments. And really, he is just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of like the comic relief, but he also has like words of wisdom too. Really surprising.
Yeah. And what else?
Also, I want to get into the dub because I heard, I've heard some people like were mixed about it, and I listened to the dub, and I was listening to Japanese, and I can go either way. I think both are pretty good.
The dubbed version was actually really okay with it. Like, all the characters just kind of work, and I really just like the dubbed, but the Japanese version also really worked as well, so really I just have the same kind of thing. It's just, I can go either way.
Yeah, it was surprisingly, really good. Either way.
Yeah.
Well, in conclusion, I think Clannad really took me by surprise. I just watched it on a whim, and I came out thinking this is probably one of the best anime I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
My final thoughts is really, I was struggling, like, after when I watched the 3 favorites, I was struggling with so many anime. I saw some good ones, saw some bad ones. Wrong gauge. What happened was, when you suggested this to me, this one got so good. It's basically on the 4th spot on my top 10 anime list, but so far it's 8. And really, go ahead and watch this. This is one of the only animes where you can almost show this to everybody. Anyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's so accessible because a lot of people, have this misconception of anime. And if they do, if you show them this, chances are they'll start to become an anime fan.
Yeah.
Alright, that's pretty much it. Thank you for doing this review with me, man.
Mm-hmm.
And see you guys soon. This is Shintai. Peace out.